What is going on, guys? Predator45H here, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be taking a look at the premium tier 8 Japanese cruiser, the Atago. Now I bought this a while ago. Initially when it first came out, it was on the storefront. It was available for a few days, and then they removed it to stop, once open beta started, to stop people with very little to no experience buying the ship, getting into these high tier games with people who had all the experience and, I don't know, torpedoing each other or something. So I didn't buy it in time, and when it came back, I decided to take the plunge and buy it. Mainly because I think it looks really nice. I think it's a very pretty ship. And that's one of the main reasons why I bought it, because I really like the look of it. And I haven't played any high-tier Japanese cruiser, so I thought I'd give it a shot. Now, this is going to be like my first look video. I haven't played too many matches in this thing, and the ones that I have played I haven't done terribly well in, because, as I said, I never went past tier 5 in the Japanese cruisers, so using the 8-inch Japanese guns is, I didn't have any experience doing that, so I've struggled a little bit to with the accuracy and that sort of thing, hitting targets effectively and that. Also, just every time I play this, I seem to have a team that disappears around me. But anyways, so since this is a premium ship and sort of like a first look review kind of thing, I thought we'd start by very briefly going over some of the statistics, so you guys can kind of see what it's all about and whether it's worth buying, because it is quite expensive. Let's see if it still gives a price. No, it doesn't. But I think it was about 11,000 gold. So it is quite a lot of gold. But anyways, we are armed with 10. We've got 3 double turrets in the front and 2 double turrets at the back. So 10 8-inch guns. They have a rate of fire of 3.8 rounds a minute, which is a 15-second reload. It's not the greatest. Turn time for the turrets of 29 seconds. Let's go to the not aircraft. The range is 15.8 kilometers, so that's not too bad. You've got 40,100 hit points, which is quite nice. 4 torpedo tubes, which are over here. Now, what's nice about this ship is a lot of Japanese cruisers, their torpedo tubes are located sort of here, and here, and they can only really fire backwards. Whereas this one, you've got this torpedo tube up front, which actually gives you a nice firing angle forwards, and this one is then to fire backwards. As for your torpedo tubes, they do a or your torpedo, should I say, they do a maximum damage of 17,233. They have a range of 10 kilometers and a speed of 62 knots, which is not bad. So you do kind of have to be careful with these, making sure that there's no enemies within 10 kilometers in front of you before you fire them, because otherwise you can torp friendlies, which you obviously do not want to do. As I said, 15.8 kilometer firing range and a maximum speed of 35.6 knots. As for the upgrades that I'm running on it at this time, I've got the main battery 1, which obviously reduces the chance of turrets being knocked out, magazine detonations, and improves battery repair time should they be knocked out. I've also gone for the increase to the main battery firing accuracy. I suppose you could do either of these. Top 2 would also be pretty good. I don't think the torpedo tube one is really worth it. Take a few seconds off the reload. And then main battery, this one increases your reload but improves your turret traverse. Then I got damage control 1 and an improvement to my rudder shift time, although damage control system 2 would also be pretty good. But anyways, that is a 5-minute intro nearly to the ship. So let's head off into battle and we'll see how we do. I'm determined to keep playing this until I have a decent match to show you guys. At least decent from my point of view. I don't really care if we win or lose, or if the team, what happens there. But as long as I, do well enough in the ship, I'll put it up. But anyway, let me hit that button and I will see you guys when we find a battle. Alright, and welcome to the battle. We are on, what's this map called? North, and as you can see, I've started messing around with World of Warships and added a few mods, including the one that allows you to zoom out a bit more. Not sure what the point of that is really. One that removes the fog. Kind of wish I could remove that mod now because it kind of, you know, game looks a bit funny without it, but I'm not sure how to remove it. So ooh, and he's disappeared. Just in time for us to fire one shot. But I must say I'm like really starting to enjoy the Atago. I didn't enjoy it that much in the beginning, and we didn't lead quite enough. I'm still not 100% comfortable with the guns, and you can see this crosshair mod that I've got going. I quite like it. I don't really know why. I just prefer it. And those look good, so we'll fire again. They were a little bit far back, but the lead was right, so hopefully we'll find our target with this salvo. And are they going to drop on him? Yes, we get 3 hits for 4,000. So initially, yeah, I bought the Atago, as I said, because I like how it looks. I think it looks really, really awesome. I wanted to try out a high-tier Japanese cruiser, something that I never really fiddled around with in closed beta. And also, you know, in terms of a premium ship, I think a cruiser is better for me. I don't know, I mean, the Warspite is good, but I still kind of enjoy cruiser gameplay a lot. So we're turning around now to maybe see if we can get some shots on that New Orleans, but he is now out of range. So we're probably gonna, I don't know, imagine continue our circle, I guess, and go back into formation with this Nagato. Oh, we got torpedoes. A bit of lag, and the Pensacola is firing either at the New Orleans or at us. So we'll see, and he's just staying out of range. But I mean, this is a really nice, really good ship overall, I do have to say. You've got 10, as I said, 10 8-inch guns. The reload time is 15 seconds, which is, you know, it's okay. You know, you almost get used to, like, the problem with cruisers almost is you get so used to the high rate of fire down at the lower tiers. Then as soon as you go up to 8-inch guns, whether it's in the American tech tree or the Japanese tech tree, the longer reload just really sucks. So is this guy going to run aground? I think he is, so we're going to fire at where I think he was. Fire the 2 guns that have turned. So, I mean, like, sometimes I kind of sit there and like clicking the mouse like crazy because I'm just waiting for it to reload. Here we got an enemy Atago, so we're going to, all our guns are now ready, so we're going to take the lead and we're going to fire at him. And, whoa, a little bit of an accident there, wasn't watching where we were going, but no real harm. Ooh, wow, nice. 2 citadels, 6 hits for 12,000 damage. And that is the power of these guns. If you can aim them well and you can hit citadels, which is something that I'm still... Do we get him? Do we get him? 4 hits? Yes, who's spamming the map? Why? For the destroyer? Okay, but if you can aim them well and the enemy doesn't make your life too difficult by evading too much, you can do some pretty serious damage with them. They're quite accurate. I have improved their accuracy with the upgrade. Just because I kind of felt that for my taste the spread was still a little bit much when the guns were, you know, stock, I guess you could say. And oh, we're going to cause a problem here for our teammate. And thankfully the torpedoes ran out of steam. And there's the Atago that we messed up earlier. But one thing with this cruiser, and hopefully I do it properly in this match, fire there, is, as with most Japanese cruisers, you know, there's, how are these doing? Is it looking pretty good? There we go, Citadel and a kill. And that kind of proves the point that I'm saying. They're really easy to Citadel. So you kind of got to always try and keep your armor angled a bit. You know, sometimes you are going to take chances. I've done it before where you try and go a little bit flat to the enemy and get all your turrets to bear. But you know that they can punish you and punish you very quickly for that. But I mean, the ship is fast, 34 odd knots. How are these shells doing? We should probably be firing 776 high explosive at this guy. At ranges like this, armor piercing is actually perfectly fine for Japanese battleships. I'm not sure about tier 7 or 8 Japanese battleships, but I know no hits or no penetrations there. But I know, like, if you find yourself in the Atago and you're shooting at a Fuso or a Kuma, because you will get into the same match as those ships at the moment, just, you know, the population at tier 8 just isn't enough, 940. So we're switching over to high explosive now. But, you know, if you find yourself shooting at a Kuma or a Fuso at longer ranges like this, keep shooting armor piercing. If you hit them right, you will get citadels. And he turns away a little bit, so we miss. And, yeah, I mean, I've got a good number of citadels on Japanese battleships. And he takes a torpedo, and he is down. But generally against American battleships, you know, their citadels... I think, you know, there was at Wargaming... they did a tutorial video about battleships, and they're talking about how American battleships were like all or nothing. So they gave like all the armor at like the citadel area, and then very little armor in other areas of the ship, whereas the Japanese had a much more balanced approach to their armor layout. And that kind of shows, because then, you know, their protection around the citadel is a little bit worse, and you can penetrate them with 8-inch guns. We're just going to try and choose our target, probably this Mogami. I'm going to fire off at him. And we got incoming shells from the New Mexico. We take 5,000 odd damage or so. He sets us on fire, so he's firing high explosive. And we'll put the fire out and move away a little bit. And then obviously... take the lead on that guy, but he's moving away, so he may be out of range by the time our shells get there. And obviously, as with any Japanese cruiser, yeah, and you turn to tier 3 or above, you obviously get your torpedoes, which I did mention in the intro. You've got really nice firing arcs, you know, that you can get your torpedoes going in front of you, which is a bit different to other Japanese cruisers that have these torpedoes. They're all rearward firing. And then obviously, I think what was 17,000 damage max from the torpedoes with a 10-kilometer range. So they can surprise a lot of people. I haven't had too much luck with them. I haven't used them that much. But for me, I don't know. They're kind of more of an emergency weapon. If there was a battleship that wasn't spotted and you come around close range to them, you can get them off. But for the most part, hopefully we'll get into a situation where we can try and use them, but we might not. And someone's pinging the map, and there is a Fubuki behind us, a destroyer. So we've got high explosive loaded, so we're going to turn around. And, he's long range, so we're probably not going to get anything, but we may as well start shooting. But I mean, like this thing, as I said earlier, it's just a really good ship all round. I mean, it's fast, it's decently maneuverable. The turret rotation is good. It's not like some other Japanese stagger these shots cruisers like the Furutaka with its 45-second traverse. I think this was 27 seconds or so, which is on par with the American counterparts a lot of the time. Cleveland is about that, I think, once fully upgraded. And there we have another Atago. So we're probably going to have to send some shells his way. He's 13.5 kilometers away. And he's not paying attention to us. He is a little bit angled, so I think I will stick with the high explosive for now. I'm not going to switch over just yet. And I mean, this high explosive ammo is pretty potent. And now I think he's seen us, he's turning. And we didn't lead quite enough. So sort of landed at the back of his ship, and they then spliced. And we're ready to fire again, so we'll fire like that. And now we got this New Mexico at 14 0.8 kilometers. And hopefully I can now demonstrate the power of these high explosive shells. You know, like in the Cleveland, for example, you know, if you're firing at a battleship, you're kind of used to, you know, your high explosive shells aren't to damage him. You know, you'll get a bit of damage, you know, maybe 2,000 or whatever, if they hit really well. But for the most part, you're hoping for the fires. And oh, someone's angry at a Fuso, and the Fuso's still alive, so I don't know what the Fuso did. But you're more hoping for the fire and the damage over time from that. With these shells, though, you get a good couple of hits. I think I've done like 8,000 damage. And you hit our torpedo tubes, bastard. Done like 8,000 damage in a high explosive salvo to a battleship. I mean, I think it's probably needed like most of the shells to hit properly. But you know, maybe Cleveland, 1,600 to 2,600, so not great. So we're going to fire our torpedoes, and you can see this nice spread that we have from the forward torpedo tubes. And we're now going to have to turn to let the rear ones get a firing solution, but he is turning. So I don't know if we're going to be able to get him with, I mean, that first salvo is definitely not going to hit. The second one, probably not. But I mean, maybe Cleveland, because of its rate of fire, will still be able to do more in in the same amount of time. Fire there, and he takes out torpedo tubes again. But it's still really satisfying to fire a full salvo and see numbers like that, 5,500 damage pop up. And you know, okay, it would be nice to be doing that every 8 seconds or so, but then that would be a little bit overpowered, I think. So now that we're waiting for our torpedo tubes to reload, we may as well open distance to give us more time to evade when he fires again. Hopefully those torpedoes find their mark. And he's firing again, so we're going to turn. And another 5,500 damage and another fire. And we take 1,600 in return. And torpedoes are looking good. Actually, we might get one hit. There we go. 1, 2. Yeah, hey, 2 hits. Very happy with that. I think that's probably my first torpedo kill in this thing. So now another Colorado, or a Colorado, should I say. We were firing it in New Mexico before. So we're going to turn around and we'll speed towards him and we'll go and ruin his day a bit. We are capping the enemy base and our team has done rather well. We've destroyed 8, they've only destroyed 4, so not bad at all. Generally, I actually haven't had very good matchmaking in this ship in terms of, obviously not in terms of the opponents I see, but in terms of team performance. My win rate in the Atago is only like 40% or something. Most matches, I kind of feel like I'm on the team that's getting steamrolled. And, you know, as I said, because I'm not used to this ship as much as I should be, and he's fired his rear gun at us. We'll turn a little bit and hopefully it'll sail harmlessly to starboard. There we go. So, I mean, I also haven't been pulling my weight in a lot of games, but, you know, it just sometimes seems like it's always, you know, just defeat after defeat after defeat. And he is now turning, so we're going to fire there. I'm definitely going to put a lot more time into this ship. I think it's a good money maker. You can earn, how do these do? That's 6,500 damage from 7 hits. Not bad. Not bad at all. But I mean, it's really good at making money. Maybe not as good as an Atlanta, I don't know. I've never used the Atlanta. It's a bit fragile for my tastes. And the Wyoming is opening up on us. We got 2 hits and a fire, but no actual damage itself. We took out, and he set us on fire. And there we go, 3,000, and he took a torpedo. It would have been nice if that had been our shells that had done that, but nope, unfortunately not. And we set him on fire again. And we're going to keep firing, and just keep an eye on this Colorado. How are those doing? 1,700. Fire again. There's a Megami at 19. Colorado is getting a bit bold here. We may have to see how things go. Maybe we'll punish him with torpedoes, although they are very maneuverable. So, and how do we miss? We take light damage. We're going to fire like that because he is accelerating. So hopefully, and again we'll fire in front of the lead indicator and go back to the Wyoming. And fingers crossed for those torpedoes. And there we go, set him on fire again, another 4,000 damage. And I mean, it's just, I think the only thing that I would really like to be able to improve on this ship is the, will we take 2 fires. He's very nearly dead. It's just the reload rate. But as you can see, I think if it did fire faster, in the Colorado, we got the Wyoming, but the Colorado, he didn't play ball. Didn't play ball. He didn't sail in a straight line. He evaded, which is not good for us. We're going to switch our guns over to the other side, and there's someone taunting the Colorado. And he can't run. He can't. I mean, we can do what, 12 knots more than he can. So we're going to go on the offensive, try and see if we can get another kill before the match ends with 3 hits, and we set him on fire. Try and get some more fires going. He's put it out already. This guy, not playing ball. Very disappointed in him. And he's healed up now. Nose. Well, those were good. 2,500, and set him on fire again. Returning now to bring our rear guns to bear. Bringing them, inviting them to the party. And some decent damage. And there we go. There's another fire, which he will not be putting out anytime soon. Only 2 enemy ships left. The Megami that you can see in C3, running for his life. And this Colorado doing the same. But of course the Megami can run. And 6,000 damage. Nice, from 7 hits. And see, just waiting for him to fire, because I know it's coming. I know it's coming. And there it comes. So, only 540. We turn in and we miss it. So I think I'm actually going to put some time into the Japanese cruiser line, because, you know, obviously premium ships are excuse me, and we've won. We could have had him if it had lasted a bit longer, but premium ships are generally worse at their tier than a fully upgraded counterpart that you got through the normal grind. So I kind of want to get past the Furutaka and onto Aoba and the good stuff in the Japanese line, because of this is an indication. I think I'm going to really enjoy them, you know, at tier, let's say 7 and above. But I just need to keep pulling myself away from the North Carolina. So we got 115 hits, 2 torpedo hits, 3 destroyed, caused 11 fires, caused flooding twice, and got 3 citadel hits for 417,627 silver, 2,909 research. We came second on the team. That destroyer did really well for himself. We did 26,737 armor piercing damage. Not bad. 54,000 high explosive damage, 23,500 from fires, 200 from flooding, and 14,200 from our 2 torpedo hits. So, I mean, it's a really enjoyable ship to use, and I'm sure a lot of people didn't have as much trouble getting used to it as I did, because, you know, a lot of people probably went further up the Japanese cruiser line in closed beta, whereas I never did. So these 203mm guns were a complete mystery, and it's a little bit difficult to learn something like that in a tier 8 game against people who know how to shoot the guns, and, you know, you're against battleships and all the stuff that can absolutely wreck your face. But now that I'm starting to get a bit of a better handle on it, I'm really enjoying it. And I suspect this is going to also be something that you're going to see a fair bit of. Whenever I have a good game, I'll put it up. Because, you know, especially for money, you know, earning that cash, it's rather good. But anyways, I think that is it for this video. If you enjoyed, please feel free to hit the thumbs up button down below and maybe consider subscribing for more World of Warships content, as well as War Thunder and a few other things that are thrown to the mix from time to time. Also, be sure to check the description down below for links to my Facebook and my Twitter pages, and you guys can follow me there as well if you so desire. But as I said, that is it from me. Thank you very much for stopping by. This is Predator458 signing off, and I'll see you guys next time.